with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown!
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Good Saturday morning to everybody, and welcome into the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Brett Pritchard and Randy Lee here with you for 2 hours on your Saturday morning on a holiday weekend. Happy 4th of July to everybody out there. Be safe. It should be fun. Again, we want to stress safety, especially when you're out on the lakes here in the state of Alabama. If you're at the beach, wherever it is that you might be, it's going to be crowded. You know that. Just be mindful of that. I think one of the things that we've learned, Randy, kind of as we start and we talk about being outdoors this time of year, is being mindful of others. You know, you typically hear more and more when you pack more people in, the real estate gets a little bit shorter, so people get cut off. People's tempers flare a little bit. So just always be mindful of other people when you're out there and you're hanging out, and just be safe and enjoy the lake.
Well, if you're talking about Lake Martin and you're talking about July the 4th weekend, you got a lot more confidence in people and this lake.
I didn't say I had
do.
confidence. I said be mindful of
Well,
other people.
but your thoughts is people are going to be mindful enough for you to get out there on that boat at 10 o'clock this morning and stay out there all day. Now, I can't wait to talk to you about 4 after you've been out there for about 5 or 6 hours driving around in that mess.
You got to find a way. Look, I've been doing this for years, and I've been on that lake for driving a boat. I mean, again, I've done it so much I can drive that lake usually blindfolded. You don't get in the middle of all the idiots. Okay, I mean I hate to cut it that way, but you don't get out in the middle of the day, out in the middle of where it is Chimney Rock or even at the mouth of the ridge or wherever. You go find you a nice place, you beat your boat, and you go hang out, and you just kind of enjoy the day. You want to get out and mix up in the middle of all that. Good luck to you. That's not what I plan on doing. So, but that's the thing about having a really, really nice big lake is you can find you a cove or somewhere to go, and if you got some friends, you got some boats, you pull up, and
It's getting to where even the coves are found.
oh yeah, but
I mean, there's just more and more out there. It's a good thing, I'm not
Sometimes it is.
diminishing the growth of this lake.
Oh, no.
What you're seeing, I play this game. I'll bring this up to you because it is July the 4th weekend. And there's a lot of people out and about. I'm sure a lot of people are going to Artie Gras today down at Russell Crossroads. I went to Friday on the Green last night. You know what I do? I told my dad this last night. I said I do a game with myself. I walk around.
yeah,
I count how many people I know.
you didn't count very many. You need.
I knew more last night than I normally do because Jonathan Bloom was playing.
Yeah.
Everybody likes Jonathan, and so a lot of people showed up from the local community. But as the 20-year span between, say, 2000 and now, the difference of how many people when you go out around here that you actually know if you grew up here
Right.
compared to who you don't is drastic.
Well, a lot of
I would
people-
say I only know 10% on the norm.
Well, a lot of people you grew up knowing, they've moved away, and a lot of people that have replaced them are people you don't know.
Sure.
The older you get. So.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
No,
I think that
no,
it's a
it's
good
not.
thing.
No,
But it is a thing, and it's something that is not going to change. I think it's only going to be more and more drastic as the years go on.
Right. You change and adapt with times. That goes along with what we're talking about in athletics right now. You change and adapt with times, and talked about it with Gary Harris yesterday. Glad to see he's feeling better. He was out for.
What was wrong with Gary?
He had an issue with GI issues.
Okay.
With I think diverticulitis is what he was very close to having to have major surgery. So very serious, but he was able to get in the hospital and get some meds and get that corrected. And it was good to be back with him yesterday because he's
One of our favorites, isn't it?
absolutely just as professional. Probably the nicest and most professional guy I've dealt with in the business in a long time. And Does a really good job. Has the #1 show in Tuscaloosa with Alabama. Never thought in a million years I'd enjoy being on an Alabama radio show, but I don't talk about Alabama when I go on there. I talk about Auburn, so I'm all good with it. But we do want to say we're glad that he is back in his seat doing what he does and what he does really well. But he and I talked about that yesterday with the changing face of college athletics. And, you know, look, you can like it or not like it, and we've been through that whole spiel. But, Randy, the more I talk to people, even the younger generation, they don't like the direction of college sports. They don't. And I knew this was coming. It's not that you're not allowing kids to benefit from things. We're past that. Let kids go out and get what they need. That's the world we live in, and you got to applaud that. It's just the way that there's nobody driving the wheel of this ship. This is a big old, huge cruise ship out on the middle of the ocean right now that's not near land, so there's no imminent danger. But as close as this thing keeps going down its path, and it's going to eventually get closer to land, people going to start to panic a little bit, and they got to figure out who's going to drive this ship or it's going to crash. And that's where we are right now, and nobody has got a grip on this thing. Nobody. So coaches and NIL people are just trying to do the best they can. So they are throwing a lot of money out there right now to try to get who they can get. And we'll talk about some recruits and stuff. Auburn got a big recruit yesterday, finally. We'll talk about that. I mean, definitely, if Auburn gets a recruit, we're going to talk about it because it's few and far between in these last few months. But I think that's the best analogy. When you're out there in the middle of the ocean going 30 knots, nobody cares. But if you're close to land, you're about to dock and you're going 30 knots and there's nobody behind the wheel, it's starting to get a little bit precarious. So nobody, younger generation, older generation, nobody's happy with the way college football is going right now. Just not.
Well, 1 year into NIL is probably a good time for us to bring that topic up, and it's a constant topic on here because it's changing the lay of the land in sports, and it is changed, and I think it's going to change more and more as time goes on. I don't have any more of a bead on how this thing's played today than I did a year ago, but I did say this last weekend to you and Luke when y'all were on air with us, is that I do suspect that the colleges now kind of know the game that's playing. Why? Because we're all smart enough to ask, have you got an offer? What's the offer? What does that offer look like? And you saw the Texas A&M assistant coach yesterday point up to the suites, and he said, you see all those suites up there? All those people up there are going to be filling y'all's pocket full of money pretty much. And it's the truth. It's like my brother said, and it's not illegal for them to do that once they get here. So what did he say wrong?
Technically, it is illegal according to the NIL.
It's illegal to say it before they're on campus.
Well, it's illegal to say it before they're signed a scholarship.
That's my point.
Yeah, well, those kids he was talking to ain't signed a scholarship.
I know that. So that part is.
The NIL was intended to allow players already on college rosters to make money. It was not intended to be a recruiting tool. And that is one of the few prohibitions that remains in place. Well, that's bullcrap. That's exactly what has been done since day one. If anybody was naive enough to think that this just didn't open up the door for people to entice people to come to their campus, they're stupid. I mean, and it's like Wade and I talked about on Auburn Blitz yesterday. It has totally been abused already. This whole thing, people started skewing this thing and making their own definitions of what NIL. It is supposed to allow college athletes an opportunity to go out and seek a deal to promote their name, image, and likeness. Now it's turned into an enticement deal, or it never turned into it. It was already an enticement deal from day one. They lost control when they released the thing last year. They never had control of this thing. And eventually the NCAA is going to be out of the mix. And then we'll talk about that a little bit later too. But that's the problem. Nobody ever set any ground rules. They threw this out there and said, oh, we're just going to allow college kids to go out and make some money on their name, image, and likeness. Well, you know what the recruiters did? They go, oh, that just really opens up the door for us to offer deals to get people to come. There's a, and I said this on Auburn Blitz yesterday, a unnamed coach, assistant coach, long time, and he basically said this the other day. He was being interviewed by, I can't remember exactly who it was, but it's anonymous in one of the recruiting services. A veteran assistant coach at a prominent program said it is unlike anything he has ever seen and fears for the future of the game. He said, I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but the players we recruit, the first thing they ask is, what about NIL? He said, we really can't tell them. We're not involved. Obviously, they find out. The next thing they ask is about the scheme and what it will do for them. Mm-hmm. They don't ask about facilities. They don't talk about what they want to major in. They don't even ask about winning. They come in and go, hey, what are you going to give me? That's the first thing out of their mouth. That's what we've created. That's what it is. It's about only the dollar. And then Wade brought up something we've never talked about. He goes, do colleges even need to offer scholarships anymore? And I told Wade, I said, yeah, because everybody's not going to get these deals. Only select few people are going to get the deals. What about the rest of the people on the rosters? You know, you're not filling your roster with 85 5-stars and 4-stars.
I think some of them will start.
If you start putting 85 5-stars
well,
on there.
I don't know that it's 85 5s, but I think that your Alabama's right now, because they're at the top of the heap, those type of programs are going to have nothing but marginal 4 and 5 stars and 5 stars on the roster.
Well, because you're gonna shrink down the pool of teams, and that's another thing that Luke and all of us talk about. That's going to even actually be
parity's gone. I mean, we're about to be at a level, and it's been gone. Yeah. But it's about to be to a level that I don't think any of us saw in the future, and I think it's going to be here in the next 2 years. And I ask you this, and I had this conversation last night as well. You know, what's somebody like Arch Manning worth to Texas in the grand scheme of things? And the reason I say that is, let's just say that the first year they only won 7 or 8 games, and then the next 2 years they win 11+. Right. Both years at Texas, because they're going to have pieces around him. Okay. They always have pieces, and what does that do to the program long term? What are you willing to give someone like that could be a generational talent? To bring with a name like the Manning on the back.
He's already there now, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know what he'll be able to land. The answer to that question is he'll be able to go out and land whatever deal he wants to.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. As far as the University of Texas giving him money, I mean, they're going to give him whatever they can give him and whatever. But the ability for him to go out and land endorsement deals will be unlimited. He'll be able to go out and do whatever he wants to do. So, yeah, I mean, it's a matter of these kids choosing a program that they feel like can expand their horizons and get them to the next level. That's why Alabama's been so successful. Nick Saban's done the best job in college football of putting kids in the pros.
Well,
that's ultimately top players' goal, right? I mean, you can't.
Well, if you're a 4 or 5-star guy, and you know we've been around a few of those, and I've been around a lot of them here in this state, and all of their mentalities coming out of high school when you're a 4 or 5-star guy is, first off, nobody's stopping you on Friday nights.
Of course.
So your mentality is that you're the best guy. Yeah, there's right. and even if they don't have you rated as the best, night in and night out in your mind you're the best.
Of course.
And so what is a guy like that going to ask? I mean, put yourself in those shoes.
Well,
Brett.
now you're trying to speed up the process of when you go from high school to college. I mean, again, it's a road to every kid that goes and plays college athletics. You see the NCAA commercials that say 98% or what, you know, that little thing, go pro in something other than sports. That's fine. But the kids that we're talking about, the elite athletes, their ambition is to go play at the highest level, to go to the NFL one day.
Generational changing money.
Right. And so, again, that's a very small amount of kids. Everybody gets washed up in all of this going, everybody's just going to get paid. It's not true. There's just a select few that are going to be able to go out and negotiate deals like that. And when they go and choose a college, they're choosing a college that they're going to go and play for a coach that's been getting kids to the next level, that can take talent like they have and push them into the NFL. That's the ultimate goal.
And I think the scheme question's a great question for those kids.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, if you come in and you want to know where you fit in.
Yes.
And, you know, the last thing you want to do is if you – and, Lord, it's kind of an ironic conversation because we haven't had any identity on offense at Auburn in so long, and go back to Gus Malzahn. The last thing you want to do is come in and be a running quarterback in a Gus Malzahn offense, because now you would think you would want to be a running quarterback and Gus Miles on the offense, but he changed everything so much. He wanted to go to a more of a pro-style type throwing quarterback. So when you come in and a coach can't really answer, hey, well, we do this, but we kind of do that and all that, if you're a top-rated quarterback and maybe you're a top pro-style quarterback versus a top running style quarterback, you want to go to an offense that's going to display your talents at the highest level, be able to showcase what you can do. So we've seen a lot of kids, and not just at Auburn, but at other schools, make bad decisions and get washed away and then never get the chance to really showcase what they can do. And then they move around to 2 or 3 schools, and it just never works out. So, but look, nobody's saying, look, that's what you got to do. If you've been blessed with a lot of talent to play a certain sport, whether it be baseball, softball, golf, whatever, you need to ask questions moving. That's just part of you taking care of yourself moving forward. But that's, again, going back to Alabama, that's why Nick Saban has been able to recruit, so the winning, obviously, but they know when they go to Alabama, they got a really, really good shot, if they do well at Alabama, of going high in the draft. That's the ultimate goal. Now, every kid's not going to play NFL football. Majority don't. A very select few. Even of the 4 and 5 stars move on to play NFL football. But their aspirations coming out of high school, that's what they want to do. Nothing wrong with that. So, up against our first break. We're just getting started here on this Saturday edition of Saturday Sports Countdown.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Hoping for a lot of sunshine out there as you see the Sunshine Heating and Air logo on the bottom of the screen. Again, want to wish Kevin Kill and his staff probably a much needed break. The thing about it is, though, if you need heating and air work and your unit goes out, you give them a call at 825-4849, and they'll, if it's where they can come and help, they will. Just, I don't really say anything about Cliff, one of his guys. Man, he keeps it rolling down there. That guy's super. He knows everything, and really nice when he comes out to your house to work on your stuff. And that's what you're looking for, is customer service in a lot of things now. And Sunshine Heating and Air does that. And of course, JR Sports Bar and Grill. I was back this week with Lake Martin Sports Roundup. Good to be back home. Let me say that. That brought back some good vibes when I went back in there and saw Chris and Audra, and able to be up there with those kids. Had the Dayville and the junior Benjamin Russell fishing teams on Lake Martin Sports Roundup, which you can see on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. And those kids did a wonderful job interviewing. One thing I've noticed, Randy, when over the years, we've been doing Lake Martin Sports Roundup for over 15 years, and we've seen a lot of kids. Think about some of these kids that we interviewed at the beginning, where they are age-wise now and what they're doing. I've had so many come up to me over the years and go, man, you have no idea how much that helped me getting up in front of that camera and talking. I was scared to death, but that was a great experience for me. And then I had some parents this past week at JR's come up and say, man, we really appreciate what y'all do, because, my kid's been talking about this, for a couple of days, excited about doing it, but scared at the same time. But kind of getting out of the box and learning, and trying to sell yourself in this world today, and kind of prepare yourself for interviews and all that. It helps to get up in front of a camera, in front of a lot of people, and talk.
Well, it does. And, I don't know about you, but I was never one dying to be in front of a crowd public speaking. And I think that you probably could do that a little more than I could, but it was not something that I look forward to doing. But I'll go to this. I mean, I kind of made a deal with myself quite a few years ago that I'd never turn one down because I didn't like it. Right. And so it's the same as TV and radio. If you don't like it, it's probably a good idea for you to make yourself go do it.
That's right. That's right.
Because you'll learn that it's not as bad as you think about in your mind, and once you get over that little hump, everything's pretty good. So yeah, I do think that in that regard, that's a good thing.
I think public speaking, I've been doing it for over 25 years now. That's been my career as a college marketing and college recruiting person, is that you got to go talk to people. It's the only way you go get people to come to your place. So I've spoken in front of massive groups of people. I've spoken in front of as small groups as 5 to 10, but your message really kind of stays the same in what you're doing as far as promoting and whatever it is product. And this is what I told myself years ago in getting up, because, everybody's going to be a little antsy when they get up in front of a group of people, because you want it to go smooth. You don't want to say something stupid, whatever. But as long as you're confident in the product that you're selling, and you have confidence and it shows to the people, then they're going to be more apt to sit there and listen to you and purchase or buy into what you're selling, whether it be a college education, whether it be a product, whatever. If you're confident in it, it's going to show. But if you go up there going, well, I don't know if you might want to come here, but if you don't, that's fine. That exudes weakness, and that exudes, well, he ain't real confident about where he is. Probably don't need to go there. So,
well, I'm kind of giggling under my breath over here that you're about to take that confidence and talk about Auburn football. You got any confidence in that product right now?
Yesterday was a little bit of a confidence boost.
It did help.
Well, anytime you get one of these top 10 guys in the state to commit to your, or I don't know where he ranks in top. He may not be in the top 10, but he's number. I think he is. I think he's number 7 running back in the country. I'll look up the 24/7 rankings here in a minute. But the number 1 running back in the state, and he's from Montgomery Catholic. He's got great numbers. He's well put together. He's had 2 really, really good years the past 2 years at Montgomery Catholic running the football. Yeah, I mean, this is what Brian Harsin needs more of. This is the players that he's he's got to land. And, you know, I read several things yesterday that said this may be a little bit of a snowball because Jeremiah Cobb's got some connections and talking with some guys. But ultimately, I think it's like I told Gary on his show yesterday, this is going to be for Auburn fans all the way out to December type recruiting. Auburn's not going to get some mass influx of commitments at any point in time between now and December. It's going to be one here, one there, one here. They want to wait till the season gets started to kind of start seeing what this program looks like. And it's like Wade said yesterday on Auburn Blitz. He goes, you can understand that. It's very understandable that these kids want to get that's part of this deal now. There's a lot of stuff that's been done at Auburn to itself. Auburn's handicapped itself. Now, maybe Brian Harsin wasn't the strongest recruiter because he was trying to learn the area, but what happened to him off the field in January was devastating. It would have been devastating to anybody when you got your own people trying to get you out and trying to make up a story to get you fired so they don't have to pay your buyout. It's just really a mess. So he's having to recover from all that, all while giving confidence to these kids, saying, look, please come play for us because we are a good program. We can get you where you need to go.
And I think a lot of, the internal powers that be that were trying to do what they did to Harsin was based around his recruiting efforts. I think that more than anything. I don't think anybody dislikes Brian Harsin or dislikes what they've seen his team become or, his effort in trying to get the players prepared. I think that they were a little concerned that we weren't doing a very good job recruiting. And it seems like the effort has gone towards that. And we've gone out and we've hired some really good assistants. Let's don't kid ourselves. In my view, Carnell Williams closed this deal.
Well, of course he did. I mean, most of these assistants do.
Yeah.
Nick Saban's a hell of a recruiter, no doubt. But Nick Saban, it's his guys that go out and sell the program and really sign.
Especially to begin with.
Right.
Now, of course, Jimmy and Joe and their parents want Nick Saban to come close the deal.
Of
we know
course
that.
they do. And the big ones he goes and sits down in front of. I mean, that's not a surprise. But most programs, their assistants are their key. They hand out a top recruiting award to top assistant coach for a reason every year.
Yep.
Because, those are the guys that really go out and solidify these top prospects. And they're the ones that build a relationship.
Yep.
They go in there and they see mom and daddy, they see the kid 3-4 times, they communicate with them, they build a rapport. And if you got guys out there not building rapport, you're not going to get anybody. So no doubt, once again, Carnell Williams has landed Tank Bigsby, and now he's landed Jeremiah Cobb. He's landed two really, really solid run backs, and landed Jarquez Hunter too. This guy's been able to go out and find the top running backs, and these guys are believing in what Carnell Williams is selling, and that's what you got to have.
Well, you got to have more of him, and I do think that we've piecemealed a staff together that can help Brian Harsin, and play on the field is going to help too, I hope.
No doubt. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local Cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto, central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
When the Lake Martin area wants country, it turns to Kalijah Country 97.5. Lake Martin's best country.
Goes like 1 margarita, 2 margarita, 3 margarita shot. And if the house just keeps on winning, I got a wild card up my sleeve. And I wish grandpa's never died.
Lake Martin's best country is on Kalijah Country 97.5.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill, Sunshine Heating and Air. I want to go back and kind of relist. Jeremiah Cobb is 18th in the state, a 4-star, and we talked about this last week. Dakari Nelson's 19. He just committed to, or actually is leaning toward Penn State. Penn State's already been able to come in and solidify Tamarian Parker. It's Penn State coming in and getting 2 of the top 20 in the state. That's what you're dealing with now is from a standpoint of it's not just an Alabama and Auburn race in the state for these top recruits any longer. It's Clemson and Georgia and LSU and Florida and even Mississippi State and Ole Miss. You're having to battle about everybody, Tennessee, to keep your own guys in state. So Luke and I talked about that a couple Tuesdays ago. He goes, even Alabama may be in for a little bit of a rude awakening with this top class because, they've got Peter Woods and Jalil Hurley and Tony Mitchell, but, there's other guys on here that they thought they were probably going to get, maybe leaning or going somewhere else.
Well, it's a good get this week for Alabama and Tony Mitchell.
6'2",
190 pounds. Probably the best secondary player in the state of Alabama. We've seen him a lot. He's won wherever he's been.
Number 2 in the country in his position, too.
Yeah, so a great get for Alabama there. So you're right. I think they'll close on a few more on that list. But, Brett, this is a list of prospects here in this state that we don't see too often. Upwards of 30 players potentially by the end of the football season that could be 4 and 5 stars.
Well, and another thing we talked about, Luke and I talked about on this list is on a normal year, somebody like, and let's just go back and use Jeremiah Cobb as an example, who's ranked 18th this year. Well, that's not a normal 18th ranking. He said normally he might be ranked number 10 in the state because there's such an influx of 5 stars and 4 stars, and Jeremiah Cobb is a 4-star along with Dakari Nelson all the way down to the 21st pick or 21st recruit in the state, Braden Joyner, is a 4-star. So there's 21 right now 4 and 5-star guys.
That's before the season starts.
That's right.
Which we all know that once the season starts, they change those grades, and those grades a lot of times on some of them that are 21 to 30 are going to go up.
That's right.
So
could be as many as 30 in the state this year. Caller, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Morris in Aniston. Who am I talking to?
Hey, Morris, this is Brett and Randy.
Hey, good to see you there. I was watching it. I muted it, so I couldn't tell. Y'all on this delay thing that screws me up being an old guy. But I just wanted to call and talk to you guys a little bit this morning, mainly just a ramble and tell you how much I enjoy y'all. I enjoy Randy. I am an Alabama fan, Randy. I'll put that on your mind, so don't feel too hard at me. But I think all you guys on the program, I always say this, but I think y'all got one of the best sports programs I've ever heard. I just found y'all by accident, and I got to tell you, I can't wait till football season gets here. And I hope y'all don't run me off the air because I'll have something to talk about then. But
we won't do that, Morris. And by the way, I try my best. I've been doing programming with Brett Pritchard over here for 15-plus years. So part of my role is to keep us somewhere near middle ground because this Auburn fan to my left, he normally doesn't say a whole lot of good things about Alabama, so I normally am the one that has to sit up here and do that, Morris.
Well, and I look, Brett would have to do something really bad because I listen to him, and I got to tell you, I'm an old guy, and he's sort of young, but I got to tell you, I've not found anything that I disagree with him on, including sports.
Well, I'll pay you later, Morris. I'll call you after the show, and I'll get your check in the mail. Thank you.
Well, I really mean that, and, I'm sure y'all watch some of these other sports programs, and you know what I'm talking about. Y'all have such a knowledge that's unreal. Between all of you, I've watched every one of you, and y'all just really cool, calm, and collected. And look, I'm an Alabama fan, and on Alabama-Auburn week, we might disagree on a few things, but other than that, I'm pretty open-minded. I mean, like I don't hate 19-year-old kids, and I'm not that kind of a fan, if you know what I mean.
I love your disposition on that, Morris. I really do, and I think more people need to take that, all of us included. We get so daggum entrenched and obsessed with trying to win, that's what makes the rivalry what it is. But at the end of the day, you just kind of broke it down in real terms, and I can appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, and that's my thought on it. I mean, I've worked with Auburn guys, and we're all friends, and, we all talk about Auburn, Alabama week. We sort of picking at each other. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But nothing in an evil way. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I just and I don't want to get into me, but just give y'all just a quick thing. I'm a little shaky, but I've got a good feeling that I'm going to be able to enjoy football this year. At the beginning of the year, I wasn't for sure because I was diagnosed with a malignancy, but I just got through with a bunch of radiation. When I say radiation, a bunch. There was a bunch of it. And I'm still got about maybe 4 or 5 months of the chemo stuff, but I'm feeling really good, just a little shaky. So if my voice sounds shaky, that's the reason. My brain's still working. But
that's good.
I did want to catch Randy on there because I listen to him a lot, and he is so articulate in the way he describes stuff. I catch him sometimes on, I guess it's Auburn Blitz that's on at lunch when I'm there, and I can't remember what it was he was talking about one day, but not only do I agree with him 100%, it was 110%. I kind of wanted to call in, but I don't want to, me being an Alabama fan, I didn't want to,
No, please do. We have, look, Luke Robinson probably calls into our show more than anybody, and he prods us along from the Alabama side.
Luke's our number one viewer on Auburn Blitz.
Well, Luke is one of mine. When I've got Alabama questions, I'm definitely going to be calling him. But
yep.
I was going to throw a few little things, and then I'm going to get off the phone. I can get to babbling,
No, we appreciate it, Morris.
But, I do have a pretty good, I'm pretty knowledgeable in football. Now, the other sports, I listen to y'all, but football, when we get into that, I've got something, because I've been friends. I don't know whether y'all remember Sam Young over TCC in Talladega. I don't know how familiar y'all are with those. He goes back away. He and I used to work out together. I was in Red Elephant Club for years and years, Oxford Quarterback Club, Anderson Quarterback Club. So, I was deep. I was like addicted to football. And I've heard all the speakers, and I will say this, and I've told this to Auburn people in Alabama. When I heard that Pat Dye was going to speak, I made a point of being there. I got to tell you, that is one of the best speakers I've ever. I always liked Pat. Even though now, when he was head coach there and everything, he would say some things that aggravate me, but he was a great coach, great speaker. I mean, he kept you going. And then I will say this right quick. I want to get off when we're talking about things. I try to look at what kind of people they are. And, if Alabama's got a coach like Mike Dubose, now, Randy, I kind of relate to you a little bit with some things. I could never figure out why Alabama hired Mike Dubose.
No clue.
But I supported him.
I was glad they did.
I support him. But let me tell you, when he got in that mess with the secretary, and I don't know whether this will be bleeped out, but I was telling my Alabama friends, and I was friends with some of the, the people that donated and all this, and that they need to fire him. Oh, we can't fire him. Who would we get? But, I try to be that way. I'm black and white. I mean, if something's wrong for another school, it's wrong for Alabama. But anyway, I don't need to get off on that, and I do enjoy you guys, and I'm going to get off and listen to you, and during the football season, I will be calling you back because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be around.
Well, we hope you are, and you got a great season to look forward to.
Right.
Two of the best players that we can remember, and that's saying a mouthful for Alabama coming back, and Bryce Young and Ryan Anderson. My gosh, Brett, could you imagine? I think you got the best offensive and the best defense player in the country coming back to your squad this year. That's saying a
Well,
lot.
I agree with that, but I've learned to really hold back till after the season starts, and I think I've mentioned this before because Alabama has been had some of the worst injury luck that I've seen, and it even goes back to last year. So, these players are good if they can play, but if they can't play, they ain't worth the flip. And if you don't mind me commenting a little bit on, I watched a lot of Auburn last year, and I tell you what, I was really impressed, and I can't because my memory won't go back right now. This medicine I'm on screws a little bit of my memory up, but I think Penn State, and there were several, like Auburn, and, of course, Alabama game, and you can always throw that out the window. You don't know. I was shocked that y'all was doing what y'all was to us in a certain way, but I knew it was going to be a tough game, and I'm going to say this, and y'all know it. If y'all's quarterback would have made one play, y'all would have won that game.
Yeah, if we'd have had anybody but a statue back there, we probably would have won by a couple touchdowns. But that's the harsh reality of it. We didn't have one, and we kept y'all in the ball game. We let y'all hang around, and y'all made some plays to get it to overtime, and you won it. But Auburn could have put that game away in the third quarter if they wanted to, if they'd had the ability to.
What I want to say is I think that y'all's coach, with everything he's been through, and you think about the players he had last year on the first year, your players aren't bought in. Y'all know that. The players he will have this year will be bought in. I will say that, and there's an edge to that. And y'all talk about the NIL all the time, and one day I'll get on there and talk about my views on that. But you start playing all these players, and some of them's making thousands, and some of them may be making hundreds. And you tell me what kind of team you're going to have when these players start feeling ill at each other. But anyway, let me get off where I cut my TV back up because I'm on a little speakerphone, and I want to actually hear what y'all say. But y'all guys have a great day, and I enjoy both of y'all.
Thank you, Morris. Appreciate you as always. Always a really good call, and we got to get to break. Got some comments coming in. Ed said, read an article on how town, cities, Chamber of Commerces are working on how they can get involved in NILs because of how much they benefit from winning programs. That would really take NIL to a whole different level, no doubt about it. That's the end-all, be-all right there. But Morris with some really good points there, and I thought what he said about Brian Harsin, we'll just keep it going right here until we get to the next break. Brian Harsin going to have his guys. These guys that stayed are bought in. Auburn's got some experience and some talent returning. This year could be okay, depending on how the chips fall. It's moving forward past this, and it's like he said. When you look back in retrospect, and we can all judge however we want to judge, and nobody's been harder on Brian Harsin's recruiting than me and you and some of the others up here. But the cards that he was dealt, pretty crappy, man. A guy comes in, it didn't finish the way he wanted to finish. I don't think anybody that's got a drive and a competitive edge wants to finish a season like that. Auburn was up to 12th in the country after that win against Arkansas, and it's pretty impressive. And then the wheels fell off for whatever reason. And then Bo Nix goes down, and then you got T.J. Finley to finish out the year, and he loses the next 3 games. It's just the deal is that you're trying to get bought in. You got some things going on. You're kind of going through some tumultuous times. Then the people that are supposed to be backing you pull the rug out from under you. So it left Auburn in a really precarious situation, and it's really Auburn's fault. It's really only Auburn's fault on that.
Well, I go back and I'll say the same. I can stomach a 7-win season. I can stomach that this year. I'd be
Yeah.
perfectly fine with it. I think most of us are sitting there, and I know that it may be sad to say, but we're watching those recruiting rankings.
That's right.
Because there's no part of us that believe we can put
I'd
a
like to know
winning
where
program.
we would be right now in recruiting if that crap had not happened. I'd just like to know if they had not
I don't know
tried
that
to
we'd
pull-
be any better.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but I'd like to know that. And if that's the case, then we'd have a truer sense of, okay, the guy really can't recruit in this area. He's having a hard time, and that's bad. But, who knows now? It's like Wade said yesterday. He said, who the heck knows what the guy can do after what he just survived?
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, he's going to have an opportunity this year, and he's got a loaded state of talent to pull in. And yesterday was a good start to go out there and get a running back to add to a room that's already strong for Auburn with a coach that's already strong at Auburn would be a good thing. You got a phone call?
Yeah, I think we do. I think that we would have a phone call. Caller, go ahead.
Brad and Randy, good morning.
What's up?
That's Wade from the Plains, man. How y'all doing?
Man, just talking about you and what you said yesterday. And, Wade, I'll just kick it to you. I mean, I think Auburn kind of made their bed a little bit tougher to lay in, with what they did in the offseason. Again, Randy said it, a little bit apprehensive on what Brian Harson's abilities to recruit were to begin with, but that didn't help for sure.
Well, what happened, and I still haven't wrapped my mind fully around what transpired earlier in the year, specifically with Harsin and the power struggle, the obvious power struggle at Auburn over the football program. I don't know the specifics of it, don't care to know the inside knowledge just as an average fan, because that's where I'm coming from a fan's perspective. So who was trying to do what? But it was blatantly obvious that there were some powerful people that didn't want him here probably from day one, and probably still don't want him here. And that's a shame. At least give the man a shot at doing it his way. If you're going to hire a coach at this level, you should have the confidence in them to be able to run the program their way.
No, I totally agree. I mean, I do think there was a power struggle out of the gate. I think there was a faction of Auburn boosters that wanted Kevin Steele as the next head coach. I personally didn't want Kevin Steele as a head coach. I think he built some relationships with some pretty powerful guys, and I think Alan Green went out and said, look, I'm going to show everybody. I'm going to go do this my way. And he went out and he really pretty much hitched his wagon to this Brian Harsin hire. So I think if Brian Harsin ultimately ends up getting axed, Alan Green's going to end up getting axed. But he made that decision and went out there. And so instead of all uniting and trying to build on somebody, you got guys down there trying to say, well, I'm about to show you. You just did this. Well, I'm about to get him out of here. And the only thing that happens in that whole deal is the program suffers.
Well, and that's exactly right. And look, the powerful people, Auburn or any program needs everyone from the guy selling hamburgers at the stadium or hot dogs and Cokes at the stadium to the kids slinging programs to fans like me and to the powerful boosters. Every successful program needs everyone on the same page going in the same direction. So the powerful folks have a place too. What's worse is if they don't get their way and do they pull full support, and you're just kind of not even ever giving a guy a fair shot. Now, I saw some stuff last year that I didn't like on the field. I couldn't believe my eyes at the Mississippi State game. Still one of the most embarrassing losses in Auburn football history, in my opinion. I walked out of that Ole Miss game thinking we were back. So, I'm going to chalk that up to the first-year coaching blues and get behind my team and support them, right? And yesterday was a good step in that direction off the field.
Yeah, getting Jeremiah Cobb to commit, and then as you and I talked about, that Penn State game is going to be one that everybody's watching early to see if Auburn can kind of set the course in the right direction. Wade, we're up against a hard break, brother, but Always appreciate you. Glad to have you on the show yesterday, and going to be working you in a lot more.
Love the show. The last caller was correct. One of the best shows around. Glad to be part of it. Thanks, guys. Have a happy 4th.
Appreciate you too, brother. Happy 4th to you. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got a lot more coming. Stay tuned. More Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City, Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry?
Fast, fresh, and friendly. That's the Allen Brew Market mission to our customers on the go. Allen Brew Markets of Talladega County fuel your vehicle and you with the best coffee, drinks, snacks, and food, so you can get your day on the fast track. Allen Brew Markets are always convenient with Sylacauga locations on Main Avenue, Highway 280, and Old Birmingham Highway. Allen Brew Markets has everything for the family on the go, and we're always brewing up great specials. Fast, fresh, and friendly. Our guarantee to you.
The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider, Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Why is Sarah Automotive Group on Highway 280 in Sylacauga the place for the best deals on your new ride? 3 compelling reasons. 1. With 3 full new car dealers on one lot, you get the best comparison and incentives on Fords, Hondas, and Nissans. Unmatched selection. 2. Sarah pays over market value for your trade to maintain East Central Alabama's best pre-owned vehicle selection and sales. And 3. The Sarah Automotive price won't be beat and delivers lower payments and huge value on your next buy. Shop online or on Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
You already know the power and reliability of a Mahindra tractor. Get ready to meet their ATV and UTV lines. Haul more and tow more. Do more. Reaching speeds up to 60 miles an hour. Models have a 12-inch ground clearance and the ability to haul up to 1,200 pounds. There's a Mahindra utility vehicle and a model specifically to get the job done. Test drive today at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor. Serving Tallapoosa, Coosa, Clay, and Talladega counties. 256-392-3613.
Hi, I'm Scott Blake.
I'm Angie Richardson, and we are the loan team here at Movement Mortgage.
Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you've gone through the process before,
Our mission is to help you move forward with the purchase of your future plans. Call me at 256-397-2771.
or call me at 256-794-1003.
Scott Blake, NMLS number 527945. Angie Richardson, NMLS number 216556. Movement Mortgage supports equal housing opportunity, NMLS number 39179. For licensing information, please visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
Castelluccio Fine Italian Dining in downtown Alexander City is rapidly becoming the region standard for Italian cuisine, as well as hand-cut filet mignon, fresh Gulf seafood, and the area's best Italian import wine selection. We offer true old-world charm with unmatched hospitality. Like Castelluccio Fine Dining on Facebook to keep up with daily lunch and dinner specials. Also new, we offer catering for your family and small business, so call and order. Castelluccio, downtown Alexander City, where the only thing that rivals the flavor is the dining experience.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Sunshine, Heating, and Air. We'll have a very short segment here as we head into the top of the hour, just a few minutes. Hopefully have Luke on here in the top of the hour going into the next. But some really good points, some good commentary here in the first hour. Haven't really even gotten to the big news of USC, UCLA, the bombs. You know, we'll kind of preface that because I know Luke will want to talk about that going into the next segment. But, you know, they kept that quiet. You know, Gary and I talked about it yesterday. You know, the Oklahoma-Texas thing kind of leaked out and everybody talked about it. And, then, if you'll remember, and I brought this up with Gary, right after that happened and, you know, a month or two went by, everybody started speculating what Ohio State and Michigan might do. And everybody started saying, well, the rumor is Ohio State and Michigan may be joining the SEC. The Big Ten probably, and I think they did feel the pressure of what the SEC was doing. They're smothering the other conferences. Obviously, the Big 12 and Pac-12, they're going away because they're losing their power brokers. And the Big Ten didn't want to be the next one to fall, so they said, well, we got to compete. So I'm sure they immediately got on with this UCLA-USC deal to try to counteract the Texas-Oklahoma deal to the SEC.
It's wild to think how this works in the other sports. And I bring up, say, women's soccer. I mean, how does this work? I mean, are they just constantly on an airline?
Yes.
Traveling from one end of the country to the next and staying overnight? And how does that work in with school? I mean, things have changed so drastically because, you know, a 5 or 6 hour bus ride, is. But having to, I mean, it's beyond where I can gather my thoughts.
I mean, USC and UCLA, they're going to half the season's going to have to fly to the East Coast.
Yeah. I
mean, basically. I mean, I know Midwest, Big Ten's got a lot of Midwest teams, but, I mean, they've got a lot of teams, you know, that's a long, long flight, you know, and you're right. I think everybody gets encapsulated thinking about football only. Well, this affects everything, man. This affects baseball and softball.
I just wonder
volleyball.
At some point, could you create something that is just football? Just football.
Well, just Notre Dame tried to do that?
Well, just separate, yeah, and I think that model is the best. I mean, what part of the Pac-12 minus USC and UCLA is good for anything other than football?
Baseball.
Well, baseball, they're adding to all of them. They add to. I'm not saying they're not helping the conference, but the Pac-12 baseball is not a bad. That's not a bad conference.
No. It's
Pac-12 from a basketball standpoint, not a bad conference.
No.
So my point, softball. Keep going down the list. I mean, these aren't bad conferences, and what product they put out there. Now, I don't know what the attendance are, but I can't imagine the attendance is much different than what you get in some places outside of Ole Miss and Mississippi State, say in baseball, and Tennessee and Auburn as we get going. You know, but do they get that at USC and UCLA, and will the change in going to a different conference change those sports? I don't know. Maybe it does. But
are people that are making these decisions, or do you think they're even thinking about this? Surely they are. Surely they are understanding the impact that has on their entire athletic program. Now, look, I'm not naive enough to not think that they're making a decision on the cash cow, the thing that's making them the most money, which drives all the other sports.
Yeah. Which
they go, okay, the other teams are just going to have to learn to live with this new conference.
It's a necessity for the other
Well, that's
sports.
what I'm saying. So, you know, if that's your cash cow and that's driving everything, then, yeah, they're making the decision based off that, and so it doesn't matter. Yeah, they're going to have to adapt and learn to get on an airplane and travel.
I see it separating itself from everything else. Maybe it doesn't, but that's the only way I can see it working. And if it does separate from everything else and you take that funding away from the other sports, how do the other sports function? Because do you not see it? I could see there being, just like Notre Dame, a football-only decision, and then everything else is played under another umbrella.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're under that conference for those sports, but football stays independent. I don't know. I mean, again, that'll be another domino.
But you've got to partner with a group that feels like they're moving in the right direction and they're going to be successful long term. You can't sit there and wither away on a dying vine. And that's what USC and UCLA, who's bringing a market into play.
Right.
I mean, this is as good a get as Oklahoma and Texas, maybe a better from a marketing standpoint and from an advertising potential standpoint for their conference over the SEC and getting Oklahoma and Texas.
Well, and they're trying to beat them to the punch, and they're going to get them started in 24 rather than 25. And I don't see how Texas and Oklahoma can hang around the Big 12 all the way to 2025. We've talked about that too. So we're up against the top of the hour break. We'll come back, hour number 2 of Saturday Sports Countdown.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Gorees Furniture.
Your express way to saving.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto, central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR's Sports Bar and Grill. We'll go to the phone line and welcome in our good friend, Luke Robinson. Luke, chilling at the beach this weekend for the 4th of July. Luke, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Sure, happy to be here.
Crowded down in Orange Beach?
It is. The weather is going to be really weird in Orange Beach this week, apparently. Like, it's never going to get over 90, at least that's the forecast. And, it's going to rain about half the day, every day. It's completely wet out there right now. There's very few folks out there, but you can see everybody sort of holding their towels by their front door waiting to get out there.
Luke, these NIL numbers coming in are kind of eye-opening, and I want to start there because what's the truth behind the commitment for Miami? I've heard upwards of $11 million NIL deal. I've heard down to $8 million, whatever it is. It's a lot of money. And, where is the market for a top 25 ranked high school quarterback at this point? It's got to be several $1 million is the only way you can go get one of them.
Well, and it's funny, the one that's probably worth the most, and it's not even close, is Arch Manning. And I'd be willing to bet he doesn't even have like an NIL deal in place, because that's not really where his bones are going to be buried. And I think that reputationally, their family name is worth more than whatever somebody could pay them just for one offshoot. So it's funny that Arch is going to be the one to capitalize on this the least in the present time. I mean, in the future, Arch will be making more than everybody. But as far as this commitment for Miami, the number I've heard is $9.5 million. What's weird about this, I was just talking to my wife who does PR for a lot of firms and big firms in Birmingham, and she told me this morning before I got on the phone with y'all, not even talking about this, she was like, I can't tell you how many football players, representatives from football players of Alabama and Auburn have contacted me because her various clients tell them to contact her about NIL stuff. And a lot of them have been kind of reluctant to go with it. Now, some of them have. But the reason is, you got to be kind of careful. If you are, say, a big restaurant chain in the state of Alabama, well, you sponsor one guy from Alabama and nobody from Auburn, two guys from Auburn, nobody from Alabama? Do you sponsor a guy from Alabama and hope that you don't make some of the other guys on the Alabama team mad? It's a sticky wicket. It's not like the same thing as pros. These college kids, they may not be ready to mature enough, some of them, to accept, hey, I'm not worth as much as my teammate right now. They could be eventually, but there's a lot that factors into this. And then going back to the Miami commitment, I told her about this kid, Rashad Johnson or something. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but that apparently got $9.5 million. And my first thought was
Jaden Rashada.
Yeah, I was thinking, what in the world? How do we know this? Because I thought that was the whole thing. I thought that was the whole, you're not supposed to be able to use NIL to entice them to come. Now, Brett, I know what you're going to say, that you'd be naive to think otherwise. I understand, but I'm saying as far as the rules go, I didn't think this was all supposed to be out there. And now it's just floating around all over God green earth. And it's just kind of odd to see it all unfold. I still don't think anybody's got a real handle on what's going to happen. And to that point, or how this is supposed to work, to that point, I was talking to somebody about the same kind of situation a couple of days ago, and they said, we decided not to do any NIL deals, but what I told some of these kids' agents was, I'll send them like a $100 gift card towards our company, towards our business. And then he said, my partner called me and goes, you can't do that. That's illegal. And he was like, why is that illegal, but I can actually pay them money? It's very, very confusing.
Yeah, I think the rule, Luke, I'll go back to what you said, and I do believe that people, maybe a little naive to not think they were going to use that as an enticement. But you're right, the rule was intended to allow players currently on college rosters to go out and solicit endorsement deals from other companies. That's the whole gist of the rule. This thing's completely flipped on its head. All it's done is expose the underbelly of what we already knew was going on in college football anyway, out in the open for everybody to see. And now these kids are showing up going, all right, what are you going to give me? Like the colleges respond. This thing has shifted to where it's like the kids are looking at the college going, all right, what kind of deal you going to get for me? Or what kind of, like they're the one that's holding the contract. That's not how this is supposed to work. Going to college, signing your scholarship to come play opens up the opportunity for you to go out and get a Red Robin or Milo's Tea or whoever that is. That's not at all what's being talked about right now.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, and look, the lackluster leadership here is what has allowed this to happen. But doesn't it happen so often? I mean, we could say the same thing when it comes to politics, that, if you have a Democrat in charge or a Republican in charge, then the opposite comes in. The first thing they do is repeal all these rules or all these laws that they felt were inhibiting one other group. And the pendulum swings so fast in the other direction that it has all these unintended consequences. And I think that's what we're seeing now. It's not like you can say, all right, guys, I know we've been doing this, there's been some under-the-table stuff for years. We haven't been able to catch everybody, but we've done the best we can do. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to go on the honor system. Nobody use NIL to entice anybody to come there, but when they get on campus, you can give them all you want to. Is that fair? And everybody said, oh, yeah, that's really fair. And then, of course, Saban calls out Jimbo. Jimbo clutches his pearls. And the next thing you know, this past week, we saw a video of a Texas A&M either coach or staffer saying, you see those boxes up there? Those are the guys who are going to be paying you all the money. So it's just kind of crazy.
It is. And just to kind of swing it over a little bit, Luke, I think Alabama is hitting their stride a little bit. A good get this week from one of the top players in the entire country, not just the state of Alabama, but the entire country, and Tony Mitchell. And I think that was news that was expected, but you like to go ahead and hear it, I think.
I mean, it's really huge, frankly. I mean, that's a position of need for Alabama. He can play cornerback. He can also play safety. He's got, he's kind of a thick defensive back. I thought his commitment was kind of out of the blue, not quite as out of the blue as, say, a Marlon Davidson's when he just committed during a snowstorm. But it was out of the blue in the sense that, I'm going to tell you, 2 days before his commitment, everything I had heard still pointed at him probably going to Texas A&M. He was a little bit enamored with Georgia, too. But, in the end, he comes back to Alabama. I think there's a lot of, there's probably a lot of stuff going on there, too. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that he's like every other commit out there. If you don't think if you're a commit out there and you're not Arch Manning, you're probably shopping yourself in some way, form, or fashion. I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. I mean that in a, hey, it's legal, so it makes sense to do it that way now. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's a huge pickup for Alabama. You don't want to lose that Thompson pipeline, and Alabama has that. Peter Woods commits on July 8th. I think it makes it a little bit easier to get Peter Woods in the fold, even though Clemson is a serious threat there. Peter Woods is from a very devout Christian household. Dabo Sweeney, of course, is very Christian in his own right, but man of deep faith. And so I think that's played a role. I would say right now Peter Woods ends up at Alabama, but it is not a lot. Don't let anybody tell you different. But Alabama also picked up a junior college offensive lineman, linebacker in Justin Jefferson, who they absolutely love. If they didn't love him, they wouldn't have offered him. I mean, it had to be a special guy for Alabama to go offer a junior college linebacker this year, and they really think he's that kind of way. And then they also got a kid named Cole Adams, a wide receiver out of Oklahoma. He's a 4-star guy, top 300 in the country. I mean, you think Slade Bolden plus, I mean, that comparison is going to be thrown out there just because both of them are white, frankly. But he's better than Slade Bolden. Slade Bolden played quarterback mostly in high school, and Alabama turned him into a slot guy, kind of like Bill Belichick does with a lot of some of his slot guys. Well, this kid is a burner. I mean, if you watch his tape, it's almost like some of the guys are standing still, which almost makes me question some of the competition. But he is fast, and I think Alabama likes him a lot, and they went ahead and took his commitment, and he had an offer from Oklahoma, so that means something.
Luke, before I let you go, I want to ask you one question. We'll shift over to basketball. Alabama did report 12 level 2 and 3 NCAA violations. Just anything on that you want to elaborate on?
I mean, I read that really quickly, and I mean, that's typical news dump on a Friday afternoon, and there's so much other stuff going on, barely anybody noticed it. Level 2, level 3 violations are like essentially, hey, one of our recruits clipped his toenails and it hit somebody else in the eye. I mean, it's not a big deal. One of them was something like a guy that's not even on campus anymore did maybe either participated in a 4-on-4 camp or had his own 4-on-4 camp, something kind of silly. I mean, these, again.
No Dodge Chargers to see here, right?
What now?
No Dodge Chargers to see here in these violations, right?
No, I don't think so. And even if there were, I mean, that's what I was going to say. That's what's funny. Driving around a Dodge Charger is pretty normal now and legal. But if you have a 4-on-4 camp that wasn't certified, you might get the death penalty. I mean, it's weird that you can get $9.5 million, but Lord of mercy, don't you help out a bunch of kids that are trying to have a camp?
Yeah, that's right. You know, this world's aimed in the right direction. Can't you tell every morning you wake up? Hey, Luke, we appreciate it. We got to get to break. Have a good weekend, buddy.
All right, guys. I'll have a good one.
Thanks so much. If you don't know, just ask Joe Biden. He can explain it to you. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know that he can explain much anything if you've seen anything he said lately. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
Okay, somebody's not wearing their seatbelt.
I don't wear seatbelts. Might wrinkle my shirt.
That's okay. I'm sure they can iron it before the funeral.
What funeral?
Yours. Almost 70% of people who die in car crashes aren't wearing a seatbelt.
Okay. There. You happy?
Just happy to be alive.
Seatbelts. It's hard to live without them. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
It's time to crank for bank. April 1st through July 4th, you'll be fishing Lake Martin for a chance to win big. With a $100 registration, you'll be fishing for $1 million from Big Fish Real Estate Group and Point Broadband, a 2022 Bass Cap Bass Boat from Russell Marine, 2022 Skeeter Bass Boat from Ashley Outdoors, a 2022 Chevy truck from Lake Martin Cabinetry and Allen Embry Premier Chevrolet, or catch a $1,500 tagged fish. Brought to you in part by Dunning Roofing, Lake Martin Tourism, Mortgage Pro, Fishing Chaos, and Lake Broadcasting. Visit Crank, the number 4 bank.com for details.
Going to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. I think we got another caller waiting, so we'll go back to the phone line. Caller, go ahead. You're on Saturday Sports Countdown.
Yeah. Hey, Brett and Randy, y'all doing all right this morning?
Doing great, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. This is James.
Hey, James.
Y'all were talking about UCLA in Southern Cal a while ago. This happened sort of in a different direction. I guess about 15 years ago, Louisiana Tech was in the Mountain West, what's now the Mountain West, or most of it, in the Western Athletic Conference. Their closest game that I can remember at that time was El Paso, Texas El Paso.
Good
About 700 miles across the state there, 600 miles anyway. But those guys, I think they did that for 7, 8, 10 years until they revamped that conference, and Louisiana Tech got into another one, when it's like the Sun Belt, whatever they're in, I can't remember. But
Can you imagine what that budget was? Can you imagine how many hours they spent on buses?
You know, that's why Louisiana Tech played Alabama and Auburn and everybody else got those big paydays, I guess, just to support their travel in the daggum conference. That's a good point. I don't think I ever really thought about that, James, until you said it.
It was going the opposite direction, but it's the same thing. And you're not talking about a school as big as USC or and not knocking Louisiana Tech, but they were the ones I remember. I thought, my God, that's like Auburn did in that series that went out there to halfway to Alaska and played good, beat Oregon State, and then came back.
Right.
Went right back to Omaha. I think they were probably dragging a little bit, but my God, they did that every other week, it seems like.
That's crazy.
This thing's way out of hand, and I don't know where the answer is, God. I wish I had that answer, but I did think of that one little thing. Just thought I'd throw it in. Where are you going? I'm thinking we're getting ready to make some moves here now as far as on the recruiting trail. I know Brumbaugh and Etheridge and Coach Hilliard and I think all of them seem to be out there moving around and getting working on these people. We're gonna do better than people think. I think this is classic Auburn. We're down and we usually come back with a vengeance, and that's what I hope happens this year. You guys have a good day, and it's nice to talk to you as always.
Thank you, James. You too, brother. Appreciate your call.
I sure hope he's right.
Wade said it, too, to kind of back up what James said yesterday. He goes, and you know this as well as I do, Auburn's always at its best when they're not expected to do anything. I mean, that's really – anytime Auburn has got high expectations going into a season, we don't ever live up to them. 2003 was a prime example. On the cover of ESPN magazine, on the cover of Sports Illustrated, number one team in the country, going into 03, everybody thought, man, this team, and you come out and you lose the first 2 games of the year. And, you're like, what in the world? And then 03, didn't even score. I don't think we even scored. Did we score? We didn't score a point until the 3rd game of the season against Vanderbilt, and it was after halftime. So we went 2.5 games. We were preseason number 1, went 2.5 games, didn't even score. Okay, so you go in there, and Auburn actually finished really good that year. That was the Carnell Wig Go Crazy Cadillac year, ran for the touchdown on the first play of the Alabama game. Finished the season strong, went into 04 with 03 hovering over their head. You remember it was the Hugh Nall situation, and that's why Auburn was in the situation. Tommy Tuberville made a gross mistake in hiring Hugh Nall as offensive coordinator in the buddy system. It almost cost him with Jetgate and everything else. 04, you come in, and your preseason ranked down there, and you have to climb all the way up the rankings, and Auburn had a better team that year, and there were 2 other teams that year that were really good, USC and Oklahoma, that didn't lose a game, and Auburn was the 3rd team out, and they didn't play for a national championship. A lot of the reason why, because of 03, they fell on their face so hard. And so I know that system's different and all, but that is typical Auburn. When the chips are down, when you're not expected to do anything, they rise up. We'll see.
Well, I keep saying this. You got to have the Bows and the Joes.
Right.
And that listing of assistant coaches that James just ran down gives me hope that if we can learn how to play the game, I do think that group's going to get after it, and they're going to land their fair share, and hopefully that will be in the short term, because I think it's needed in the short term with this new setup with the recruiting, where you can commit in that early signing period, and 85 to 90% now are already committed.
Most of your top players are going ahead and inking in December. Just getting it out of the way.
I think that could even be earlier now that we move into this NIL deal.
Right.
Because can it expedite some of their money coming in?
I don't know.
Why can't a guy that's committed to Auburn start getting paid during his senior season in high school?
I don't know.
It's capitalism at its best. Why can't the deal already be cut? Does he have to be on campus playing for?
I'm sure there's
ways around it. There's nothing telling you and I that we can't pay an Auburn commitment that's right here in the Lake Martin area. Whatever money that is, if he's already committed, can we?
Not that I know of.
Wouldn't that make you want to expedite your decision?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think. I think the first earliest date that you can sign on the line to be with that school.
Yeah,
is
I'm saying that I think that.
Well, the NCAA would have to change the rule.
Yeah.
That'd be totally up to them. I mean, and everything else has changed. Why not change that? I mean, we used to just have one signing day. Then they created another one because of the pressure and
kids just wore out with the whole process.
Well, yeah, and then going ahead and just knowing the security, it kind of takes it off both the school and the kid.
I agree with that.
Now you got the kid signed, and the kid knows he's got a spot if he goes out there and maybe something happens. He's still locked in with that school, and he doesn't have to possibly be kicked to the curb at the last second because they got somebody else that came in that they didn't expect to come in. So both roll the dice a little bit, okay, on that kind of deal. So, but I mean, right? I mean, who knows where it's going? I mean, there really aren't any rules anymore. Just go do whatever you want to do, right? That's
capitalism.
That's the rule.
I mean, it's everything will kind of weigh itself out based on success,
right?
And that's the way business works. That's the way. And if you find a better system, good luck. Look around this world and point to me a system that's worked better than this. We've just held it out in the college game for way too long, and I think that now that it's exposed itself to what kind of money has flowed. I mean, imagine this kid's about to get anywhere between $9 and $11 million to go play quarterback at Miami just because we changed the ruling.
And it's not the school that's paying that.
No. But that money's been being funneled somewhere. And I think we've seen where it's gone. It's gone into facilities and administration and coaches' pockets and everywhere else.
That's right.
None in the pockets of the kids that are actually the ones on camera getting the TV.
The thing is, it's kind of the ironic thing on all this is that without the colleges, the kids don't have the platform to be able to go out and make all that money. So the colleges still have to thrive. The colleges still have to provide the platform for the kids to come in so they can get those deals. So let's not diminish that part of it.
That's no different than saying, though, that whoever owns the New York Giants doesn't – I mean, they've got to thrive too, and they've got to have a successful program just to be able – it's no different.
The colleges – well, I understand that part, but the colleges have to exist to give them the opportunity to go make that money, right? Because if they didn't have a college program to go sign with –
or if they didn't have a professional team to go sign with.
Right.
What's
well,
the
this
difference?
isn't professional, though.
Right.
But I mean, I'm just saying.
It's as close to it as you can get now.
But it's not professional. It's the next step before you get to professional. I think that's where you want to start signing 18-year-old kids to the NFL. I mean, I'm serious.
I don't think they're ready for that. But
I don't either. They're not physically.
I do think that NBA deal needs to change.
I'm just saying, going back to the college, I'm not diminishing that. I'm just saying that. And I'm not sitting here being a staunch defender of building $90 million buildings, but all of these plush things that they're providing for these kids to come in and play, that does count for something. And that gives them the opportunity. Alabama just built, and renovated their football-only complex, and they poured a lot of money over the years into it to entice kids to come.
I think it's all part of the game.
It is. But what I was trying to get a point to is that money, you said that money's been going somewhere before. Well, that $9 million that particular company may have been given the school is going to go to an individual now. But that school is going to have to find other ways to get their funds to be able to give that opportunity. It all kind of is cyclical, is what I'm saying. It all kind of has to stay in that circle for everybody to benefit from. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Now is the best time to sell your current home, as it's a seller's market, meaning that on average you can get up to 96% of your asking price. Who's the most aggressive and most experienced to help you sell your home?
Hi, I'm Rhonda Gaskins, broker Century 21 Lake Area Realty in the Lake Martin area. We are getting a 96% return on our listing price, the sales price in this area. Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
L&G Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
GillsOpelika.info. Get pre-approved in minutes online at GillsOpelika.info for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Gills Auto Sales, 1430 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Again, I want to thank all of our sponsors across the bottom of the screen that you see in each segment. Couldn't do the show without them and the longtime corporate partners of JR's and Sunshine Heating and Air that allow us to bring this program every Saturday. You can call us. Had several calls today, and we appreciate those, as we always do, 256-234-6221 if you'd like to give us a call. You can always comment on Facebook like so many of you do throughout the show and interact with us that way. If you got a topic or a question, please throw it at us. We'd love to talk about it. Kind of shift over and talk a little bit about some pro stuff. Major League Baseball right now, the Braves really have flipped it on its head here before the All-Star break, and they've turned it around, kind of extending that, that I guess win-loss over the 500 mark. They kind of hovered underneath the 500 mark, and I think they're 45-33 now. So 12 games over 500, and this is about when they turned it up last year and started making their move. I know the Mets are still playing really good. Braves won last night 9-1. They've got a great lineup. Seems like their pitching's going well. It's like they're going to be right back in the hunt again, maybe in the postseason.
I don't see any reason why not. As long as the pitching holds up for this squad the way that we positioned these bats in the lineup. I know it's minus Freddie Freeman, but Olsen seems to be hitting his stride.
I'm glad you brought him up. Have you ever seen the stuff going on like this?
I don't think I've ever seen.
I've never seen a guy this emotional.
Well, I think it was so mishandled, and he's sitting back and looking and saying, this is my legacy here. And my legacy went away from what I wanted it to be.
Right.
Because of a rogue agent and miscommunication.
Now the agent comes out and saying that Atlanta's blowing all this out of proportion. That's not how all this went down. And I don't know who to believe unless Freddie Freeman comes out and addresses it. But you can tell this guy is emotionally a wreck. And, Clayton Kershaw comes out and says, he said, I hope Freddie moves on. We need him. But right now he don't feel like part of this team. And it's affecting the Dodgers. I mean, this guy's still hitting over 300 and, I don't know where he is. I think he's got 9 or 10 home runs. I mean, his production's awesome. But there's a disconnect there, and the emotion when he came back to Atlanta this past week is just – there's a picture. Did you see that picture of him in the dugout?
Yeah.
The old everybody stand up on the rail, and he's sitting back on the bench, kind of slumped over, looking down, depressed. And you can tell he did not want to leave Atlanta, and something didn't get done correctly.
Well, Chipper Jones tried to, jump in and be an intermediary and work things. And look, you can blame it on an agent, you can blame it on whoever you and I aren't in these situations where you've got to go on a back and forth and you want to get the best deal that you possibly can get. You've got to play the game to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, you also you need to let it be known that that's where you want to be.
There's a chance these two teams meet again in the postseason.
Very good chance.
So
they're the two best teams. The Mets had a good start to the season, but I don't think the Mets are.
They're 48 and 20. The Mets are 48 and 29. They're still 3.5 ahead of the Braves, but they were as much as 9 or 10 games ahead.
Well, they lost 6 out of 7.
Yeah, they have. And everybody kind of expected. Baseball's a game of ups and downs. Braves are going to go through another down cycle at some point. They've been very, very hot. The Dodgers are 48 and 28, just like the Mets are. They lead San Diego by 3.5 games. So it's regardless, the Braves will get in either wild card or where they win the division. But the bottom line is that these two teams are going to clash again. This has kind of become a rivalry. And this key player for Atlanta now that's on L.A. is affecting both teams. I think that's what Clayton Kershaw's sitting there trying to send a message like, we're probably going to play these guys in the postseason, and it's going to come down to all the marbles, and we need him to be all in or either all out. I mean, I can understand where he's coming from.
I don't think you can make it right at this point. I mean, the Braves got Olsen over there at first, and I hope that he starts swinging a hot bat.
Have you not seen his bat? Man, he's 31 doubles.
Yeah, I know it.
That guy's just he's a double machine.
Yeah, I know it. And that's my point is that
he has picked it up, by the way.
He has picked it up, and he's swinging, power numbers are really starting to hit their stride, and that was a need.
His swing's awesome.
Beautiful.
I mean, that guy.
He's so long. And
he is. He's what you want, and then again, I think that, Atlanta picked up a great player, Matt Olson, but if they could have figured out a way to keep Freddie, well, how did they miss that? I just don't understand it. That's really your franchise guy. He's been there for however many years he was there. Get in the room, get it worked out, man.
The communication all the way around is an odd dynamic right now because that emotion that you saw didn't just start because he shows back up. I think that, and it is a legacy hit.
Right.
And it would be something that would hit me probably a lot harder than anything else because, that's kind of your family. And our fan base, you saw it. We embraced that guy as much as we embraced anyone outside of Chipper Jones over the last 30 years.
Right.
Even those pitchers that we had, I don't think we embraced to the extent that we embraced Chipper Jones.
No,
Would you
Chipper
agree with
Jones
that?
Is by far the top guy.
Yeah, you got Hank Aaron, and then you got Chipper.
Yeah, but we're talking about our generation.
Dale Murphy.
Dale Murphy and Chipper Jones, probably the top two ever.
Yeah.
And then Freddie was right there. And then you just let him walk away.
Well, and he walked away.
Well, he walked away.
He allowed it to happen, too, now.
That's what I'm saying. He's kind of to blame. I mean, if I really want to stay, I'm going to go sit in a room with
and we're going to make this work.
Right. Where was he at during all this?
You didn't hear much from him, did you?
No.
And then when the deal went down, you didn't hear a lot from him.
If I could kind of look, when I started reading all that from Clayton Kershaw, I wanted to say, well, he's just sour because, he's basking in the sun of the World Series this week and getting his ring, and he was emotional and all that, and they're probably tired of looking at it. But now that I go back and I think about it from Clayton Kershaw's standpoint, he's like, well, crap, man. He had the opportunity to stay over here if he wanted to, but he walked away, and we signed him, and we want him to be all in on our team.
And he's got to be all in.
And he's got to be all in, and if he's not, he's going to end up hurting us down the line. I mean, it's a good message to send. I mean, he wasn't trying to be ugly, but he was just trying to be real. So
I don't know how it's made right, though, at this point.
I don't either. So, but just an odd – I'm glad you brought that up when you mentioned his name because, man, I've been reading all this stuff, and it's just a weird situation all the way around. You could tell where his heart is. And I think that's what Clayton Kershaw is saying. Like, man, this guy's heart ain't with us. He's over there producing numbers, but, man, This guy's emotions and his whole ties over there with Atlanta, that's going to hurt us in the end. So we'll see how it all kind of plays out. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River Region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker,
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
At CNT Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
For almost 10 years, there's been the go-to place for tires and automotive repair, Right Tire. Right Tire sells all makes of tires for anyone's vehicle and anyone's budget, and with Right Tire, you always get the right prompt service with the right price. Right Tire also can handle all of your bumper-to-bumper automotive needs with certified brake service, alignment, oil changes, tune-ups, and so much more. So when you want tires and automotive done right, see Right Tire on West Fort Williams in the heart of Sylacauga. Right work, right price, every time.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Become a member of the Superior family. Superior GMC Cadillac, Superior Hyundai, or Superior Automotive Pre-Owned. Between our 3 dealers in East Central Alabama, we offer the superior selection and service for any buyer's needs. All with the personal touch of being locally family-owned and operated. Check out any of our dealers online, or our 3 great lots in Anniston on Quintard, or our pre-owned superstore in Pell City, and join the Superior family of value.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Only a couple segments left here on this program. And, again, we want to thank everybody for watching and listening, as you always do on Saturdays. A lot of great interaction on the program. Kind of been going down some really, really good stuff that's going. It's really an odd time. Usually this is the doldrums for us, but there's so much going on in the world of sports right now, especially with college. Randy, we're here July the 2nd. You'll fast forward here in a few weeks. You'll have SEC Media Days, and then it'll be time we'll be football 100%. High school right now, they've got 7-on-7s and OTAs going on. Just a little update for our local people here. Benjamin Russell went to their first OTA. They had a couple scheduled this week. One got canceled in Montgomery, I think due to weather, but They went over to Beauregard and had a really good showing over there. Hearing some really good things out of that. And then I don't know what their schedule is moving forward, but Smitty Grider's the new head football coach. He comes in the first part of June, so hitting the ground running, trying to get everything organized. But the thing about that is you look over and he's a veteran 18-year head coach here in the state of Alabama who's been extremely successful. So if you want a guy to come in with a very small amount of time to get going, you want a guy that's got his knowledge and expertise.
Well, he's well connected, and the high school coaches that I feel he's got a good relationship with have paid off and been able to reach out and get a really good offensive coordinator and a really good defensive coordinator, right. And they're from coaching trees that you want to have right. Added to your program. So I think that's a benefit of having a guy that's been around this state for a long time. And That's paying off. I think he's not walking into a cupboard bare.
No.
He's walking into an athletic room that is going to match up with just about anybody.
Right.
I think. Now I'm not saying that here in Ellick City, from a size standpoint, we just don't get the big, bulky, big players that we've at times had, but we've never
get them
really
time to time, but
time
not
to time. But it's
consistently.
just not the matchups that you'll see in some of these inner city schools where you'll see the big Quay Russaw and some other players like that. We just don't see as many of those coming through right now. But from an athleticism standpoint, buddy, this is as good a group as I can remember.
Guys, I don't know if I remember being this loaded.
Well, I think it's the best basketball group we've ever had here. I don't think I'm out on a limb.
No, I
by
definitely
saying
think that.
I think that as long as this group stays together and Coach Freeman keeps doing what he does, which is get
Made a
people
lot of
bought
noise
in,
last year and went deep.
and all these, this is abnormal though. I think in today's world is 90% of those guys are football standouts. Most of the time, you're seeing a fight to keep them playing one sport but not the other.
Right.
Luckily here, knock on wood, we've been able to win a lot of those battles and keep our kids playing. And when you're playing in a school like we have here where you got 610 students in the top 3 grades and the top of your classification's got 1,200 students in the top 3 grades, buddy, you better not leave athletes walking the halls or not playing certain sports. You can get away with that in some other schools, but when you're competing against schools that are double your size in the same classification, and don't even get me started on that. As my mouth opens and those words leave, I want to point and say, what in the world are we doing? You got to figure that one out, number one. But that's neither here nor there.
That's a whole topic for a whole nother day, no doubt about it.
But, no, I'm looking forward to high school football. I think that the quality of the product here in this state is as good, if not better, than it's ever been. I think that that's showing in the recruiting rankings, and I think it's showing because the competitive spirit in this state and our coaches in this state are as good as they have ever been, Brett. And we're just the benefactors of being able to go out and cover that.
Yeah, exciting times. I think high school football, high school athletics in general, may be as good as it's ever been. I mean, from being able to produce, top teams throughout the state. I mean, not just statewide, but known nationally in multiple sports. And it's not just Hoover carrying the banner anymore. I know Thompson has kind of taken that mantle from Hoover, but it used to be, well, Hoover. That's what you heard. But, man, there's teams up and down classifications in this state. I mean, Fife got national recognition for their winning streak. They got snapped last year, but, people started talking about them as having the longest winning streak in the country. So that's huge for small classification footballs. You can have notoriety and exposure from 1A all the way up to 7A, depending on how you build your program and what you want out of it. And the players that are coming out of all these programs in women's and men's sports in high school. We've seen an influx of really, really good girls softball and basketball players in this state here in the last 10 years. So, and that have moved on not just to play for Auburn and Alabama, but go on out of state and play at Georgia and Florida State, and they get to pick where they want to go. So taking high school athletics to the next level, it's been a really, really good last 10 to 15 years. I think it's only going to get better.
I don't think that changes. I do think Title IX has been a massive success to women's athletics in this country.
Right.
I think it's the prime reason that when you go on an international stage, our women's athletics are not competed with most of the time. And I think most of that's based around, and Title IX's 50 years, and I think most of that's based around that legislation that went through. And now some maybe don't like that legislation, others do, but I'm one to sit up here and say I think it was a wonderful thing. And for us to go out and see the quality of the product go to a level that I don't think any of us, man, when I go watch high school girls basketball in this state.
Oh, man.
I talked to a lot of people. I was having the conversation with somebody yesterday. To watch girls basketball in the northern half of the state of Alabama, unless you just haven't gone to see it, you have no idea how good certain programs
no
can
idea.
get when they buy into a sport like basketball in certain communities.
Right.
It's amazing, and I'd like to see us do a little bit more of it around here, because when it comes to that sport in our area, we're most of the time not very competitive.
That's true.
I mean, who's the last person? What's the last team from Central Alabama to win a state championship in girls basketball?
I know Dayville went.
They went one time. I'm talking about win one.
I don't know.
Think anybody around here that's won one? Silicaga went once.
Yeah.
When they had Kayla Thomas.
Yeah. Don't know really anybody.
None of the Montgomery schools have gotten over the hump that I can remember, have they?
I don't think so.
Yep. The private schools. The private schools there in Montgomery have.
Yeah.
Prattville Christian and some
They
others.
have.
They sure
They
have. Yeah. So.
But Charles Henderson's really not considered Central Alabama. That's a little bit more south. So I don't know. It's a good point. But again, I think overall the state of high school sports really.
And I will jump in. I know we're up against the break, but did you see the numbers of viewers for the College World Series for softball and the College World Series for baseball?
It was higher for softball.
Higher for softball.
Yep.
And are you surprised to hear that?
I'm not, because
it's a fun sport to watch.
It is. I mean, we kind of got drawn in because Auburn got good. And, man, it's just people naturally are going to be drawn into things that are entertaining. And I'm not saying baseball's not entertaining, but you got to really love baseball to sit down and watch it. It is a slow, drawn-out sport, and it can drag. Let's just be honest about it. Softball ain't a lot of dragging. I mean, even the pitching, the field's smaller, the action's just a lot quicker, So I totally understand. I really do. Baseball is last in everything viewership-wise. There's a reason for that, because the common sports fan is going to choose baseball and golf last, because you got to really love golf to watch it on TV. I mean, seriously, I love playing, and I do love to watch the majors, but I don't just sit down and watch the so-and-so Open, the Troy Built Tractor Open in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm just making that up. But, I mean, I just don't care. I watch the Masters and U.S. Open and British Open and, the PGA Championship, because all your big players on the stage, and it's really good golf. But even most common sports fans aren't even going to watch those. And when Tiger Woods does officially leave, PGA is not playing anymore, the rankings are going to drop even more, because people tune in just to watch him, even though he's on one leg basically right now out there. So it's just the way it is. Up against the final break of the show. Stay tuned. Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
So, you finally got the boat, ATV, or side-by-side of your dreams, huh? Then make it yours with marine-grade audio that'll provide crisp, high-quality sound that's loud enough to be heard, whether you're cruising on the lake or hitting a mud hole. Come see Steve at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, so you'll be ready to crank up the volume. Whoa, but wait, you don't have to pull out of the water and trailer it to Auburn. The Car Stereo Shop can handle all of your work at any one of the Lake Martin marinas.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
At Russell Medical, our transitional care unit is a great alternative to nursing home care after a medical or surgical hospital stay. Transitional care increases strength and endurance through skilled nursing and therapy programs to promote a safe return home. Enjoy on-site therapy, private rooms, an activity center, and more. Call Russell Medical today to see if our transitional care unit is the right care for you.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce. Because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Welcome back, everyone. Saturday Sports Countdown final segment here. Again, want to thank everybody for watching and listening. I guess quick message here before we go off, short segment here. 4th of July weekend's always a fun time, but you always hear of things that happen because people aren't responsible. They don't pay attention. They let their guard down. If you're going to be on that lake, especially after the sun goes down, you have got to be extremely mindful and careful. And that's coming from somebody that fishes a lot at night, and look, your head can be on a swivel, and you still, come cut things close with people, with things that are out there floating and just whatever. Just be very careful and mindful. Always be on a boat with somebody that knows what they're doing. Don't send your kids out, on a boat and somebody's not, versed in what they need to do on a boat, because there are no brakes on a boat. I tell my kids that all the time. There are no brakes on a boat.
Well, and there's more out there than I can ever remember in my life.
Of course there is.
It's a wild time, and I don't think that that's going to change with the new development that's going up down at Wicker Point. I think that is opening up in the short term.
Right.
The first 50-some-odd lots are going for sale. The golf course, have you seen it?
I went by it yesterday. I drove by it yesterday.
It's going to be beautiful. I know we've already got a beautiful one here on Lake Martin and Willow Point, but this one's its equal.
Oh, of
and gosh, it's amazing. It's as good a time as I can remember being here, and that's growing up here when the Russell days were booming and we had 8,000 employees here in this community. I can't remember a time, and it's been a long time coming and a lot of efforts by many people out there, but the dominoes are starting to kind of fall, and this development that's going up down there with the Core Crenshaw Golf Course at Wicker Point and the 400 home lots and all of the investment that's going in down there, and there's not been anything in my lifetime.
No, none at all. So exciting times to be in this area for sure. But again, that's going to wrap it up for Saturday Sports Countdown. Again, have a fun, wonderful, and safe 4th of July holiday. Just be mindful of everybody out there, wherever it is, if you're on the road or if you're on a lake somewhere, having a good time. For Randy Lee, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We'll hope you out. See you next time.
Are you looking for something really good for lunch? Are you tired of the same old fast food? Well, go to Buck's. Get a meat and 2 sides or a meat and 3 sides for the best deal in town. Buck's always serves up the best food, including fried chicken, wings, hamburger steaks, catfish, shrimp, and yes, of course, the famous Buck Cheeseburger Basket. And Buck's has dinner specials too. So if it's your turn to cook dinner, Buck's will be glad to do it for you. We appreciate your business and look forward to serving you.
Whoever you are, wherever you race, hit the track like a champion. The YZ250F and the YZ450F Monster Energy Yamaha Racing Editions. Only from Yamaha.
Fast, fresh, and friendly. That's the Allen Brew Market mission to our customers on the go. Allen Brew Markets of Talladega County fuel your vehicle and you with the best coffee, drinks, snacks, and food, so you can get your day on the fast track. Allen Brew Markets are always convenient with Sylacauga locations on Main Avenue, Highway 280, and Old Birmingham Highway. Allen Brew Markets has everything for the family on the go, and we're always brewing up great specials. Fast, fresh, and friendly. Our guarantee to you.
They say we live in an age of big data.
where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.